Jobs in the economy in Boise, Idaho. We all need them. It's good to know if you move to Boise how the jobs and business affect the overall economy and cost of living of where you're at. Now, before we start, if you are moving to Boise and you're buying a house, please do not quit your job right before moving here. You will no longer be getting that house. I've seen it happen with clients where they quit their job, they move here, and then they can't qualify for the house, and it's a really sad situation. Which, as you know now, I am a local real estate agent in the Boise area, and I've lived here for over 20 years. We help people like you relocate here and love getting to know you and making the process smooth and exciting. So shoot me a text or a call anytime, and I'll help educate you and see if Idaho, or Boise in particular, is going to be a great fit for you. But let's get right back into the video. So now that we have those two PSAs out of the way, Boise as a whole has a great economy and is growing, but the real estate prices have outpaced the average salary here of $52,000. Yet the average home here is going to be around that $400,000 to $500,000 range, and with an average household salary of $75,000, it just is not quite enough to keep up with those real estate prices. Now, that isn't to say it won't catch up, and there are still plenty of high-paying jobs, especially with the business and tech boom that has been happening here, and we'll get into that later. It just means that the average job in Boise is not enough to keep up with the real estate market. Now, let's get into some of those major job providers. Micron provides about 5,000 jobs here in the Valley, and they are a chip manufacturing and technology company in Southeast Boise. I mentioned the tech boom that has begun to happen here, and while Micron has been here since I was a baby, it is now putting a multi-billion-dollar microchip plant expansion into Southeast Boise in the next few years, which will bring a ton of new jobs and growth. And then you combine that with an $800 million data center that Meta, or most of us know it as Facebook, is putting in Kuna. There are some major jobs coming to the Valley, and that doesn't include all of the smaller companies that have either moved here or grown a lot over the last few years. So when it comes to the tech and manufacturing in Boise, there's plenty of jobs to be found, and obviously things are going to keep expanding with some of these major companies putting huge investments into the Valley. St. Luke's and St. Alphonsus are the two major hospitals here, because Salter Health, which used to be a major one, recently went out of business, which has not fully worked itself out yet, but that's not going to be available here anymore. Both St. Luke's and St. Alphonsus bring another 5,000 jobs into the Valley in their major facilities and all of the minor facilities that you could ever think of. There are hospitals, surgery and rehab centers, imaging centers in every single suburb in the Valley. And the major St. Luke's hospitals are located on Eagle Road in Meridian and downtown Boise. And then St. Alphonsus has one in Nampa, and then by the mall in Boise. I have a ton of friends and family that have worked in these spaces and in these hospitals. And just like anywhere, if you're a healthcare provider, you'll have no issue finding work in Boise. Boise State Broncos. If you don't know, this is the college in Boise, and you may have seen the blue Smurf turf before, but it's also a provider of another 5,000 plus jobs in the Valley with everything a college would need to run: marketing, business, recruitment, facility managers, and of course the education and professor side of things. You have tons of opportunity here in the higher education sector, or if you just want to volunteer on a weekend for a concert, you can get free volunteer work and see somebody like Luke Combs or Garth Brooks. I have some friends that volunteer for some of those concerts that BSU's stadium holds, and you get free tickets to those concerts. So just a little fun thing that you can look into there. Or you can grab some of those security gigs as a paying job at all of the events for sports and entertainment that the college puts on. Quick on here, but yes, there is a government in Boise, although maybe smaller than California's. It still has all of the secure jobs a government would offer with schools and police and department work, or the VA, which my mom works there, that is downtown Boise. And for all of you teachers out there, first of all, thank you for what you do. You are overworked and underpaid, But last year, Idaho did give their teachers a slight pay increase, putting them in the higher ranking of teacher pay. West Ada School District, which is the biggest school district here, didn't give as much of a bonus as some of the other schools in the valley, but it is still a nice little bonus that Idaho teachers have and puts Idaho in the higher percentage of teacher pay, especially than it used to be. Albertsons, Fred Meyer, and Winco are some major employers here. Those are all the major grocery stores in the valley, but of course have the business sector of their company. We have Scentsy, the melting candle pots, has their headquarters in Meridian, which also puts on a really awesome firework display in the summers, and then they have Christmas lights in the winter. Then there are tons of engineering jobs here, like power engineers, Idaho Power, and then tons of other government and small companies with engineering as an option as well. Boise has some of the lowest poverty and unemployment rates in the country, and like I said, it is a very fast-growing economy with a ton of new companies moving here and investing into the valley. It will continue to grow, and there's a ton of potential opportunities and economic growth here. So it's not something I think people really need to worry about. If you want to learn more about that and what you will be spending that salary on when it comes to the cost of living, click this video here where I go through everything you can expect to pay for in the Boise area and the cost of living, and even comparing it to the other major cities you may be moving from.